On a clear summer evening, August 12, 1985, a massive Boeing 747 SR, a workhorse of the fleet, stands on the tarmac at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. The sun shines brightly on its polished fuselage. It is Japan Airlines Flight 123, a routine domestic flight bound for Osaka. The date, a day before Japan's annual Obon holiday, means the flight is packed with families returning home, friends traveling, and individuals on business trips. On board are 509 passengers and 15 crew, a total of 524 souls. The cockpit crew is a team of remarkable experience. Captain Masami Takahama, a veteran with over 12,000 hours in the cockpit, sits alongside his first officer Yutaka Sasaki, a highly skilled pilot, and the flight engineer Hiroshi Fukuda, a meticulous and revered professional. It is a perfectly normal flight, a quick 54 minutes. The passengers settle in, the flight attendants prepare for beverage service, and children excitedly peer out windows at the sprawling cityscape as it gives way to the tranquil blue Pacific. Everything is routine, everything is as it should be. Just 12 minutes after liftoff, as the aircraft climbs through 24,000 feet, the tranquility is shattered with a deafening, explosive bang that rips through the entire airframe. The force of the explosion is immense, a concussive shock wave that slams the passengers against their seats. Debris, including the plane's tail cone, streams away in a swirling cloud. In the cabin, passengers in the rear are instantly thrown from their seats against the ceiling. Oxygen masks drop down. The flight attendants, trained for this, begin the difficult process of reassuring everyone, while a violent shudder rattles the entire aircraft. In the cockpit, a cacophony of alarms begins to sound as warning lights blink to life across the instrument panel. The crew stares in disbelief as the instruments go haywire. The captain, with a voice of unwavering calm, makes an immediate transmission. We have an emergency. We have a problem. This was not a simple engine explosion, a manageable fire. This was a catastrophic structural failure, the tragic result of a faulty repair from 7 years prior. The rear pressure bulkhead, a vital structural component, had been damaged in a previous incident. The repair, improperly executed by Boeing technicians, was a band aid fix that was a fraction of the strength it should have been. The force of the decompression in flight was more than it could bear. The resulting explosion tore a massive hole in the rear of the fuselage, which instantly ripped off a massive section of the plane's vertical stabilizer, the iconic tail fin. In a cruel and impossible twist of fate, the shrapnel and decompression shock waves severed all four of the plane's independent hydraulic systems. A pilot's hydraulic systems are their lifeline, their connection to the ailerons, elevators, and rudder. The pilots had no way to control the plane conventionally. In an instant, the Boeing 747 had become an unguided 300-ton metal beast. For a terrifying, desperate 32 minutes, the crew waged an impossible battle. Their instruments told them the impossible. The plane was flying, yet it was completely uncontrollable. The aircraft began to oscillate wildly, a terrifying and unpredictable series of climbs and dives known as phugoid oscillations. The crew, however, refused to give up. Their only hope lay in a technique never meant for precise flight control, using the four engines' differential thrust. By increasing the power on one side and reducing it on the other, they could try to turn the plane. It was a painstaking, frustrating, and incredibly slow process. Every second was a monumental struggle to keep the aircraft from diving or stalling, a true test of their will and expertise. The cockpit voice recorder captured the agonizing, methodical struggle. The pilots, communicating with air traffic control, calmly explained the desperate situation. But ATC could offer little help. They were alone in an unprecedented situation. As the plane's erratic movements continued, they made a desperate attempt to turn toward an emergency landing. But as they descended, they realized they were headed for mountainous terrain. Their final desperate attempts to regain control were futile. In the cockpit, the flight engineer's voice is heard warning. Speed is decreasing as the captain gives his final calm commands. The massive plane, now an unguided missile, slammed into a remote mountain ridge. The devastation was immense. The search and rescue operation was hindered by the remote mountainous location and the late hour. It was a tragedy of immense scale, with a heartbreaking loss of life. But the investigation that followed revealed a crucial truth. The crew's heroic fight was not in vain. The official report confirmed that their unparalleled efforts to control the plane had prolonged its flight for nearly an additional hour. Their actions bought time, allowing a few survivors to be found later. The lessons learned from the faulty repair led to global changes in aviation, maintenance, and safety protocols. The tragic end of JAL 123 stands as a solemn monument to human vulnerability and, more powerfully, a profound testament to the courage and skill of flight crews who, in humanity's darkest hours, fight to the very last breath.